I'd like to welcome the police representatives, Ms. Margaret Chiu, DMS, and Sally Choi, DCP, and Chief Superintendent, Ms. Karen Zhang, and fellow colleagues. Welcome to our meeting today. Several members have sent in their apologies today. Mr. Chen Cheng-yan, Ms. Lam King-hong, Dr. Wang Chi-ho, Yip Yet-lun, Mr. Zhong Chok-yip, and Ms. Yu Wai-yen. They've all sent in their apologies. So it's now time to call the meeting to order, and we will begin. You will find table for you the minutes of the last meeting. The Secretariat has not received any proposed amendments. Are there any requests for amendments? If not, shall we confirm the minutes? Thank you. Item 2 is a presentation on traffic enforcement system and the fixed penalty digitalization. I'd like to call upon our police colleagues to brief us. Thank you. Madam Chair and fellow members, to tie in with the Smart City Blueprint and also our strategic guidelines using technologies for traffic management, we have been enhancing our traffic management to enhance efficiency and to promote better quality police services. Since June 15, 2015, we have launched the e-ticket scheme through the confirmed contact system in matters relating to traffic violations and illegal parking. We issued fixed penalty tickets in order to enhance efficiency and to allow the violators to deal with these fixed penalty tickets more expediently in order to relieve the legal liability. In the long term, we aim to provide more information to the drivers, like record of fixed penalties and so on, in order to encourage them to build up better driving, attitude, minimize the number of traffic accidents, and to enhance road safety. In order to enable members to understand more about this scheme, our colleague Superintendent Nip will give you the further details. Thank you. Thank you. Madam Chair and members of the IPCC, I'm Nick. I'd like to take some time today to brief you on the traffic ticket and enforcement system and also the matter relating to the fixed penalty digitalization. I'll divide my briefing into 4 parts. First of all, the arrangement regarding the fixed penalty digitalization. You may already be familiar with this, but we'd like to refresh you on this. And to tie in with the digitalization program, we've also launched a e-traffic ticket platform and also an apps through the use of mobile phones. And I'll brief you on the functions of those facilities. In order to tie in with the launch of this new platform and fixed penalty digitalization, we've carried out a lot of publicity and anti-fraud campaigns to enable people to adapt to the new digital system and the new functions. I'll brief you later on the work that we've done to ensure that all these will be carried out smoothly. We've launched the system on June 15. It's been 2 to 3 months, and we have some statistics to brief members. To tie in with the e-ticket digitalization program, we need to amend legislation which was done last year. On the 18th of November last year, some of the rules came into place. The TD in relation to driving license and the renewal of motor vehicle license, the department can collect e-contact details from the drivers. It could be a mobile phone number or an email address through which the police can, by means of those electronic means, issue electronic traffic tickets. If the e-contact provided is a mobile phone number, then the person will receive, a message, e-message, and you'll find an example here. So actually this is one notice instead of two. In this notice you'll find a lot of content or information for the violator, including the date of the violation, the vehicle license number, and the location of the traffic offense. We provide such details for it to serve two purposes. That is, he will be able to deal with the fixed penalty ticket if based on the information in this notice. So it's the same as when someone issue a fixed penalty ticket, but now he can deal with it using his cell phone. And also there's another purpose, which is to prevent fraud. We understand now that many of the fraud, messages don't provide too much details, whereas in our case we'll provide the traffic, the car license number and the location of the violation, so that the driver will have a preliminary, can make a preliminary judgment. And we also have some other measures. You will find here the notice of the person who issued the notice, which is, dash XKPT ETT. So the person who issued this notice has a hash, and whether or not this notice and also email notice, there will not be any super link. Many of the fraud apps use a super link to lure people to provide information into these links. We will not provide such a link. Well, through the email address, the member public can also receive an email notice, which is the same as the message we showed you earlier. So while it looks different, but the content are exactly the same. So I shan't repeat the details more again. The Transit Department, starting from the 18th November last year, started to the system, and on the 15th of June this year, we've already started to implement the e-ticket, the digitalization program. If a member public, after the 18th of November, provided to the TD the e-contact, then when we issue fixed penalty tickets, the police will start issue e-traffic tickets, through digital means. In order for public to adapt it in this system, we will have a two-track system. We will still print, a physical fixed penalty ticket and place it on the windscreen of the car, so that the member of public, when he received the traffic ticket, he doesn't know how to deal with it. He would still have the physical fixed penalty ticket and deal with it accordingly. In our publicity, we will remind the public that the two-track system will stop after a while, so that the member public can get used to using this electronic system. As you saw just now, it's not really that difficult. So this is a brand new platform for members of the public to deal with the fixed penalty tickets. Regarding this dual track system arrangement, you can imagine that if the member public opt for using electronic contact, then in dealing with matters relating to illegal parking, he will receive a digital ticket and a physical fixed penalty ticket. We would also tell the public that in order they will not pay the fine twice, you can use either one of the means to pay the fine. On the right-hand side, you'll find the means of paying the fines, and below you'll have the traditional means of payment using the ATM machine or writing a check. And there are also new method of payment using the electronic platform, which I'll deal with in a while. If After we've implemented the digitalization program, members of the public may take some time to pay the penalty. He may not need to renew his driving license, or the motor registration license is not yet expired. He will still be able to receive the actual physical ticket. Next, I would like to brief you now on the functions of the e-traffic ticket platform. We launched from the 15th of June this year this new platform, including a dedicated website, which is www.etrafficticket.gov.hk, and also an apps. And the functions of both are the same. We launched on the 15th of June, just the first stage, including two functions. That is the verification of the fixed penalty tickets, and also through this platform, the public can pay for the fine through this platform using the electronic tickets or these electronic means of payment. If members of the public would like to use this platform to deal with traffic tickets, they don't need to access the platform. When we designed the fixed penalty ticket digitalization program, we don't want the public to need to face many changes. Imagine in the past, when you receive a physical fixed penalty ticket, you may not have to physically go and pay the penalty yourself. You may ask your wife or your children to make the payment. But now you can, after the whole digitalization program is fully implemented, when I receive this message, I can actually make a copy of that and then send it to a relative who can make the payment on my behalf. On this page, on the left-hand side, or perhaps you can look at the right-hand side, the cell phone apps. So long as the member public issue the number of the fixed penalty ticket and the traffic and the vehicle license, then he would be able to make the payment. So he doesn't need to access. He can make a payment even if he doesn't own, a driver license or a motor vehicle license. Once you've accessed the platform, he would be able to access more details. After issuing the platform through this platform, through the digital system of the TDA, we will be able to access information, and he will be able to find out, for example, the number of cars that he has registered in his name and when the vehicle license expire, and the number of fixed penalty tickets which have been, sent in respect of those cars. So on a single platform, you will be able to find out all the fixed penalty tickets received in respect of all the cars registered in his name.
Now, for the tickets that one has paid, which will be shown on the platform, the status of the penalty tickets. Now, for the tickets that have not been paid, they will be put on top. And the closer it is to the deadline, the higher they will be placed. And those that have already been paid will be put further down the list. And there are also tickets that have really not been paid. We also have the push notification. If someone has received an e-ticket, he will receive an SMS or an email notification. If the push notification has been activated, we can also issue this push notification. That there can be other reminder functions, like if someone has already made the payment, there will be a notification. Or if someone has forgotten about the ticket altogether, there is also the push notification to remind the individual of the impending payment, and that will minimize the chances of someone forgetting to make the payment. That's for the first phase. Coming up, there would be the second phase features like vehicle management function, and this is to facilitate the commercial vehicles. People may want to apply for driving-related work. At the moment, they have to apply with the traffic division for a certificate. Now, one has to turn up at the Arsenal Street headquarters for that. Now, with this feature in place, one can do this online. If this is not used in court, there is no need for signature. Now, with the electronic record, one can apply for jobs. And also the driving offense points. The motorists are very concerned about this, and this will be added as part of the features. We're tying with the Transport Department. As you probably know, the Transport Department activated the electronic driving license just yesterday, and we will be tying in with the department on this one. And also disputes, that there can be many channels for contention. One can write in or send in a form regarding the disputes. In the second phase, we allow the members of the public to dispute the legal liabilities online. Now, for illegal parking, we would take a photo of the illegality. If the members of the public would like to have access to the photo, they can also have access to these online to decide whether they would like to dispute the offense. The last feature is the provision of driver's identity. That this is in relation to driving offense. That we issue the e-tickets not so much to the car owner, but to the driver. Like running a red light, we will need to have the identity of the driver at the time for the ticket to be issued. At the moment, everything has to be done by correspondence. In future, we will introduce this feature. Once a notice has been received, the information can be made available online. That will save up on the time of going to the post office and also the postage. This will be introduced as time goes by. For a system to be successful, not only should we make it convenient for the users, we also understand that communication with the stakeholders and the members of the public will also be crucial. So before the implementation, we've mounted a lot of publicity. We do have the internal training. We have done 2 press conferences, and we have met various sectors, the transport sector, the logistics sector, and so on. Prior to the launch of the e-ticket platform, we have a website, and we've also mounted television publicity and so on. Internal briefing, I don't propose to brief you on, bore you with the details there. We have, except to say that we have briefed our staff on this. Towards the end of May, we have had an internal training session, and through various channels, we made available the information to the colleagues to keep them abreast of the latest. Press conference, you probably have seen that. This is myself and my boss, Mr. Choi, doing the press conference there. We met representatives of different sectors, the one in the middle, and through the electrical secretariat, we have invited the members twice for the briefing in the run-up to the implementation, and we did invite them for this briefing. On the upper right-hand corner, we have regular meetings with the sectors, and there we brief them on the details. Other than the regular meetings, we've also made arrangements to meet the taxi trade operators, the non-franchise bus associations, and brief them on the details. Bottom left, we have the SPC, the Senior Police Corps members. We have to look after the senior members of the public because they're also drivers themselves. We try to familiarize them with the website. On the bottom right-hand corner, we have engaged the KOLs in the tech sector. Mr. Fong there, they are there to give us their input. We hope that in the course of developing this system, we're not really doing this single-handedly. We will have to make sure that we will do a good job in this regard. A lot of work has been done, and there are articles in the newspapers detailing this particular platform. Ms. Chairman Yi is one of them. Now, this article was published towards the end of last year. At that time, we haven't quite decided on the launch date. And Sonia was really appreciative of the system, and she wrote a lot about this system, and we try to take on board the input as much as possible. If we cannot take them on board, we will try to explain our considerations, and communication is of paramount importance. Mr. Francis Fong has also written 2 articles. I must emphasize that we do attach importance to the views of the sector. Anti-deception. We have done a lot of anti-scam publicity. Like we have the sender system. We have the pound key there. We don't have any hyperlinks. And the domain name is .gov.hk. So you have to make sure that you're receiving the right message. Some publicity materials, I'm sure that you've seen them on different occasions. Finally, some numbers. Between 15th of June to 7th of September, we have issued 500,000 e-penalty tickets, 440,000, or 85% of the tickets have been issued electronically. So far, we have not detected any particular problems, and we are pleased to see that things are moving pretty smoothly. Number of users, this is for reference. Registered individuals, number has gone beyond 100,000. Now, we do not see this as a satisfactory number. The whole design of the platform is to facilitate the members of the public. We facilitate the payment by using this platform. Now, of course, we are incentivizing people to download the app. We are encouraging people to use the platform. We're not compelling people to download the app while they are being prosecuted. The cumulative number of users, the number stands at close to 1 million, and the number is pretty good. As at 31st of August, now with regard to this platform, we have received 0 complaints. So much for my presentation, and I welcome questions from the floor. Thank you, Mr. Nip, Superintendent Nip. Right, I throw the floor open for questions. Mr. Chen, please. Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of things. First, about the SMS, there are no hyperlinks, but on the platform, I think you have to publicize the fact that people don't have to key in the bank number, the big bank account number, that there is no need to disclose the bank account number and the password. That this is a very important piece of message to guard against scams. That the payment number remains 18-digit. Now, I try to make payment for my family members. There is a likelihood of me or anybody else indeed making the wrong entries. Do you still have to keep the 18-digit payment number? Alternatively, isn't it better to key in the license number as well as the ID? Now, my family members find this a little bit puzzling sometimes. Third, in terms of identification of the drivers, at the present moment, there are 5 correspondences being exchanged. Before this can be sorted out, you send a letter to the owner, and the owner goes back to the police, and then back and forth, back and forth. There are 5 correspondences. I think if this can be streamlined, it would be really a big improvement. The members of the public don't really have to respond to the police on 3 separate occasions. Well, I think to consider this in terms of efficiency. Thank you. And the response? Yes, if I may, Madam Chair. Thank you very much for your comments. As to the payment number, I think I can convey this to my colleague. And I think we have to distinguish different things. Now, the illegal parking is $330. We have to make a distinction there. There may be some instances where refund will be taking place. The number of tickets is declining, but we're still talking about 2 million odd in total. I can have a word with my colleague on this one. If this has to be changed, we may necessitate legislative amendments. But having said that, we will consider that. As to the driver, identity of the driver, I fully appreciate what you said. Now, in the back office, there is a lot of work to do for the colleagues. So with this digitalization, we will allow the individuals to submit the name of the drivers. Now, we cannot proceed too hastily because under the law, there is a criminal liability. If one doesn't produce the driver within the specified time, there is a penalty there. So we cannot really proceed too hastily. At certain stage, we allow the driver or the owner to produce the driver. That would save some correspondences. Of course, we have to send them the letter. Now, when we begin to see that the members of the public are beginning to use the platform, then we can have more done at the platform. Now, this is something that myself and the police would very much to see happen. Now, when people are going digital, we can cut back on the correspondence.
Thank you. Ms. Chen has a question, but before that, I want to confirm one point. If one doesn't download this app, one could use online banking like the way we pay our water charges to make the payment. So together with Chen, we've checked that we can do that. Yes, the method which are currently being used still apply. In other words, you key in the 10 odd digits, so you cannot just put down the ID number of the driver and know that he's the driver. For a professional driver, he he could, be, the subject of several tickets, penalty tickets, and in some cases there might be disputes. So I cannot just put my identification down, because in some cases the driver may accept and others he may not. He may dispute, the penalty in respect of, some of the fixed penalty tickets. So I think this area, perhaps you could further, improve on that. Thank you, Mr. Nip, for your explanation. Regarding the digitalization of the fixed penalty tickets, I fully support this. And so I have 3 questions. First of all, if you issue fixed penalty tickets through, the mobile, phone or email, if, let's say, within the driver or the person concerned will have to pay within 21 days, after which there will be a surcharge. If the person, I think near the deadline, will you send a further reminder to the person concerned about the penalty, fixed penalty? And secondly, regarding the phone number 181181, if one wishes to make an inquiry in respect of a particular fixed penalty ticket, so this is part, so will actually the inquiry handle digitally, or will there be a person, a physical person to answer the queries? And thirdly, there is a record confirming that if the member public would like to check the record regarding his fixed penalty tickets, is it for you to, would it begin since you launched the functions of this platform, or is it the case that even for earlier records a person could ask for access, other than the push reminders? For some of the fixed penalty tickets, let's say if in the case of illegal parking and you forget to make the payment, we still will send a demand notice and send it by mail to the person concerned. With the digitalization program, that is, if you've missed the first penalty ticket, and even if you have failed to see the push notice, there will still be the fixed penalty ticket notice, which will be mailed to the registered address of the driver or the owner. If you forget to pay after you receive such a receive that, only then would there be a surcharge. Previously, we didn't use the number 181. Previously, we have an inquiry number, but we've changed it to 181181 because we want the public to be able to remember this number more easily. And when we launched a digitalization scheme, we've also extended the service hours. Previously, it was 9 to 6. Now it's 9 to 9. So most people, if they need to make telephone inquiries, they could be covered. And we have real persons to answer the inquiries. Out of the 9 to 9 time spent, people can still, leave a message, and our colleagues can reply to the inquiries the following day. Finally, regarding the record, that's a good question. So we will have this after the digitalization program, because after we've launched the digitalization program, only then will we issue fixed penalty tickets digitally. For earlier, fixed penalty tickets, anything before D-Day, we will not keep records, but we will not keep too much of such records because it may overload the system. Normally, we'll store those details for 6 months, in which case most of the backlog would have been cleared. Mr. Chen. First of all, I'm a bit ashamed because I just received a fixed price ticket yesterday myself. I was trying to pay the penny ticket just now. I'm still not able to do that yet. Now, first of all, I understand we don't have to download the app. I can access the platform. I don't need to input the 18 digits. There is a new notice number which contains only 6 digits, but still I'm not able to make payment. So there is a big improvement compared with before, but as a user, can you provide the QR code so that I can just scan it? And that would be more convenient. It's an improvement, I accept. But well, despite that, I'm still not able to pay my fine now. I think we've considered using the QR code. Our long-term goal is to go paperless. So I don't think will be able to add a QR code if Mr. Chen cannot make payment for his fine. I really want to know what has gone wrong. Thank you, Mr. Nip. Karen, before Karen, I'm not familiar with this, but regarding the QR code, is the QR code a hyperlink itself? Because you don't want to use a hyperlink because dishonest people may actually lure you to click the hyperlink, and if unscrupulous people. The police don't want to use the QR code and would ask you to input the digits instead. Is that the reason? Yes. Like yourself, yeah. For sure. I've also downloaded the app. Since I'm the car owner, even if I don't download the app, I would receive the message. I know that my husband drove my car and he has incurred a penalty. No, I think if I go to, so if I have 5 vehicles, once I receive the message that my car AP123 is involved in illegal parking, I just need to input my car number and then I will be asked to make payment. I could use the Visa or I can do it within a minute by inputting those digits. So downloading the app is very convenient. Of course, if you still want to ask your family members to do it for you, you may need to input some information. Otherwise, doing it through I Am Smart is really very, very convenient and expedient. Thank you. Now, in future, is it that you won't issue physical, fixed penalty tickets anymore? Now, let's say you have a car which is being, I think, a person who parks his car on the street may not know that he's already, violated the ordinance and has already been issued a fixed penalty ticket. Actually, we want people to build up this habit, that is to abide by the law. So, some people have asked us before that if there's no physical ticket, people may not know that enforcement action has been taken. Well, the idea is that if you don't see a physical ticket, you don't see any policemen around, you may still, understand that you have to, enforce, obey the law. So I think we've also upgraded a system so that the police officer will know whether or not, at the time of issuing the fixed penalty ticket, whether or not there had been a prior, penalty ticket issue. My point is that will the police officers deal with this in a timely manner? If somebody has been found guilty, but there is no physical ticket that he can see. Yeah, I understand your point. Well, there are two different views here. Some people say we are too vigorous with issuing fixed penalty tickets. Others are saying, why don't we, issue more tickets and enforce more vigorously? Now, the important thing is that the purpose of enforcement is to minimize the fatalities or injuries because of traffic accidents. So we need to be very careful here. Before Helena speaks, I'd like to add that this is a digital platform. We should aim to be as paperless as possible, but we're not talking about 100% paperless. But the police will be very thorough with law enforcement, and they will always, enforce the law in a just and fair manner. Even you don't fully understand the scheme, but for many people, I think very often if you don't see a physical, penalty ticket, it doesn't mean that a fixed penalty ticket has not been issued. So I think that's the message that the police would like to send out. So it doesn't mean that there has been enforcement action only after a paper ticket has been issued. I think in the long run, this system should be convenient for the public. In phase 2, there is a provision for disputes, so that people may dispute a certain, fixed penalty ticket. But in the end, this may result in more people, lodging disputes. When you deal with these disputes, would you have, a performance pledge as to within how long a time you will respond to the person's request of dispute and so on? Because within 21 days, he would have to pay the fine. So will you, after he's pushed the button and lodging a dispute, can you tell him within how many days you will deal with this case, so that the member probably would say, I've already lodged a dispute, and they say you haven't replied to me for after a long time, and he may complain to the IPCC. So I think we should have more clarity here. Now, my understanding, and the secretary also told me that, as in the case of a paper fixed penalty ticket, once you receive a ticket, the magistrate deal with many of these cases, because nowadays police can take photos as evidence. Now, if you want to dispute is not complaint. If you dispute something, you say that I did not, commit the offense. It's not a complaint against a police officer. Is that the case? That if I say I'm not guilty, I shouldn't be issued this ticket. CDPT, he will decide whether or not you will continue to enforce the ticket, and if the person refuses to pay, then the case will be brought to the court. Well, that's my understanding, and Nip could perhaps respond.
Madam Chair, your understanding is correct. There is a legal provision that governs this. This is not the same as the other things. If you dispute a penalty ticket, there is a process. If you contest through a legal channel, we may not have to take it to the court. Now we will make this sufficiently clear. With complaints, it is about the acting improperly. Now, with the traffic ticket, of course, you can lodge a complaint. That a dispute is by no means a complaint. We have to make a distinction between the two. So, to follow up on your point, Madam Chair, if one has disputed that, when will the person expect a reply? And there will not be a situation where the dispute will be dragging on for too long, necessitating complaint. Well, we have the platform where there is an inbox message. We would acknowledge the dispute, and we also have the internal procedures governing the timeline, so one can rest assured. My understanding is that this is not indifferent. This is not dissimilar to the paper ticket, and there is the court procedure. That is there a time limit of 6 months? Whether you take out the prosecution. I understand that there is a time limit. Yes, indeed, this remains unchanged. Mr. Jiming, Madam Chair, thank you. A daft question, if I may. If I press the button to dispute the ticket, so would there be an automatic stay of the liability? Now, if I have to make the payment within 21 days, if I press the button on the 20th day to dispute the ticket, you will not be able to reply me in one single day. Do I have to make the payment first on the 7th day, or would there be any automatic stay of the liability? That's question number one. Second, the 18-digit payment number shouldn't be a hindrance. If you received an SMS, all you need to do is to highlight or copy the number. You send it to your wife, saying that, look, I'm driving this car, and the number can be copied and pasted onto the screen. If you pay online, of course, so you can copy and paste the number. I don't think this would be too much of a hindrance. Right, about the status that you mentioned, this is not dissimilar to the way in which the paper tickets are dealt with. Now, if you contest the liability, once we have received the dispute, we will not be issuing the ticket because the dispute has been registered. Now on the platform, things would be happening far more efficiently because there will be very efficient interface on the computer, and the situation you described will be unlikely to happen. If I contest on the 20th day, I've never done that before. I don't have to make the payment by the 21st day until such time as the problem has been resolved. Correct. Secretary General, I've never contested any penalty ticket. Hardly ever do I receive any ticket in the first place. Now, I'd like to carry on with the question about dispute. If a parking ticket is issued and there will be photos and there is sufficient evidence there. Now, if one were to dispute, I haven't checked the website, would there be any chat box? What justification can one produce if one dispute citing very complicated reasons? Then it would be very, very complex. I'm sure you can group that into certain categories. Like you've got the lamppost wrong, you've got the location wrong, you've got the license number wrong. It is unlikely that this kind of error would happen. Now you have the photo taken with GPS, everything will be digital. So would there be any options in the dispute column so that one can click the right button, or you can put the photo of the vehicle, AB1234, parked in Causeway Bay, a particular location. You can put the photo there on the web as well. So the likelihood of dispute would be minimized. You can also have the AI dealing with this to see whether the dispute is correct or not, or substantiated or not. Nick, But the function has not been rolled out yet. There is room for incorporating these ideas, so I would certainly consider the Secretary General's ideas and see how we can incorporate that into the system. In our day-to-day life, there is plenty of ticketing going on. Any further points? If not, let's move on to the next item, matters for information. There are two items there, CAPO's monthly statistics, that's Annex 3, and CAPO's criminal and disciplinary checklist, that's Annex 4. Please, Stephen, thank you. Madam Chair, thank you. I'd like to brief members on the latest complaint situation. Reportable complaints from left to right, 2023 to 2025, January to August. These are reportable complaints. 2025, for the first 8 months, CAPO has received 1,779 reportable complaints. Compared with 2024, 1,607, up by 172, or 11%. Mainly about the uniformed police complaint, traffic and criminal investigation. The complaints are stable and showing signs of decline. As regards to the increase, they're related to three kinds of complaints: impoliteness, failure to thoroughly investigate a case, and failure to take prompt action. 2025, for the 8 months, 96% of the complaints are of minor nature. Moving on now to the numbers of the past 3 years. Here, from left to right, the first 3 are minor cases: negligence of duty, misconduct, improper manner, and offensive languages. In 2023, January to August, about 90%. For serious cases, they are 5% for the first 8 months of 2025. Compared with 2023 and 2024, there is a downward trend. Here, from January to August in 2025, the cases endorsed by the IPCC, we have 1,837, 44.1% yellow portion are non-pursuable, and 36%, dark blue one, they have been withdrawn by the complainant. Gray area, informal resolution, 9.5%. For the remainders, 11%, orange, light blue, green, and pink, they have been investigated. On 1.6%, or 29, have become substantiated. So much for the statistics. Thank you, Madam Chair. All right, any questions? Any questions about the presentation? Stephen, anything else? Madam Chair, thank you. Regarding criminal and disciplinary checklist, all the details are set out in the appendix. I've got nothing to add here. Thank you. Inclusive 4, any comments or discussion? If not, so much for this item. Next item is AOB. We don't have any AOB items. The next meeting is scheduled for the 9th of December, also a Tuesday. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.